Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and I am really excited about today's video because I'm actually interviewing someone. And I don't do that very often, but I felt that this was so important that I really needed to stop and take some time with this issue because I get a lot of questions about it. It's going to greatly impact you, and I just want you to be mindful so that you can make educated decisions based on your own business. So today we are going to be meeting with Tracy Smith. She is the Director of Federal Affairs and Strategic Initiatives for Americans with Prosperity. And if you want to check out that website, it is shown here, www.americansforprosperity.org. She is talking to us today from Washington, D.C. So I hope everybody will give her a warm welcome, lots of positive feedback and comments down below. And if you could hop over to the website and at least look and see what it's all about. P.S. I really want to thank Tracy for being such a trooper with the internet connection issues today. As most of you know, I live on an island and internet just kind of comes and goes as it pleases, even if I try to use my hotspot from my phone. So Tracy was a trooper. She kept right on going even though we were having difficulties, and it might show in the video and audio quality of the interview, but the content's really important, so please kind of look past that, and a big thanks to Tracy. Today I have Tracy Smith with us, and she's the Director of Federal Affairs and Strategic Initiatives for Americans for Prosperity. And today she's here to talk to us about a new proposed tax on internet retailers that would affect both the buying and selling of products online. So welcome, Tracy, to our site, our YouTube channel.
Thanks so much for having me, Tracy.
I appreciate you being here, and if you would just kind of take a minute and explain who you are to everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I work for Americans for Prosperity. I'm our Director of Federal Affairs. We're a large grassroots organization, and we have nearly 3 million activists across all 50 states, and they're focused on issues that are really important to America right now, like taxes, spending, healthcare issues.
It is great. It's really important. I went and spent some time on your website and checked out everything. For those that are watching this that aren't familiar with the topic that we're talking about today, can you take a moment and explain about internet sales tax?
Internet sales taxes are something that we're seeing increasingly at the federal level and also at the state level. I mentioned barriers to opportunity. Well, the online sales tax would prevent a lot of people, small businesses, from engaging in selling goods over the internet, like on sites like Etsy or eBay. It would make it really complicated to do that because they would have to navigate these ever-changing tax jurisdictions. Across the country, there's nearly 10,000 tax jurisdictions that they'd have to figure out. So this would be a big mess. It would be a huge compliance burden for entrepreneurs on the internet, and it's something that we've been putting in a lot of hard work and opposing at the state and the federal level.
Well, I, for one, am grateful for that because this is an issue. We talk about this all the time in our forums and on channels like this with YouTube, because as Amazon sellers specifically, and all of us are e-commerce, whether that's eBay or Etsy or whatever, but it's very gray. You don't really know. I know, e-commerce is changing a lot because the popularity is increasing so much, and people don't really know what to expect or what's going on. It kind of seems like these regulations are kind of forming, and I don't know about everybody else, but I really want to play a part in the direction that they go, because it is going to impact me. It's going to impact my family, my income, my business. And so I'm just really grateful that there are organizations out there like yourself that is, taking this on to kind of fight on all of our behalfs. So tell me, are there numerous internet sales taxes, or is this like a national thing, or kind of where are we with this?
Well, we're seeing this happen in a number of ways. We do see some attempts to enact a sales tax, an online sales tax at the federal level, but we're seeing a lot of these kinds of bills pop up at the state level too. We've seen a lot of these bills pop up in places like Utah, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Louisiana. The governor recently signed an online sales tax law into online sales tax in the law in Louisiana, and this is really concerning because this states are this patchwork quilt of different online sales tax legislation. It's going to make it very hard to navigate. And we're seeing in many states that have passed these, it really restricts their ability to sell things online. We're seeing some people told that they can't even sell on Amazon anymore. That actually represents a serious barrier to opportunity. It means that people can't be entrepreneurial as easily as they can in the status quo. So this is something that we're closely following at Americans for Prosperity. Our activists and our state directors are watching these issues and weighing in at the state level as they pop up. As you mentioned earlier, Tracy, it's so important to let people know about this issue. It's important to reach out to state leaders and let them know that, hey, you know, these taxes may sound like a good idea, but they actually would make it really hard for folks to do business. So what we're seeing a lot of lawmakers do actually is pass these because they're not willing to make the hard decisions to cut spending elsewhere. So we've been encouraging state leaders to take a hard look at how their finances, at their state's finances. So we try to make it really easy at Americans for Prosperity to get in touch with your elected officials. Just go to our website, americansforprosperity.org, and you can easily send a note to your federal lawmakers and let them know that passing an online sales tax is not the way to go, that it would do a lot of harm to many small businesses' bottom lines, and build even more complexity into our already too complex tax code.
It's hard to navigate all the information out there. It's hard to navigate the rules and the regulations, like you said, and it just makes me angry, you know, that it would try to impact, you know, my Amazon business, others' Amazon business. And so I think it's important that we all get involved and have an impact utilizing your sites. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, why do you think these lawmakers are trying to pass these internet sales tax? Do you think it's just money based, or is there more to it?
I think the money is one part of the reason. I think lawmakers are facing some, you know, difficulty with their state's finances. Many are facing budget deficits, and they're looking to online sales taxes as one way to raise revenue without having to make cuts elsewhere in their budget or reform ways where they're spending current money. But I think there's also a cronyism issue here. I think there is also a very serious angle with corporate welfare, because we see a lot of the strongest supporters for efforts to enact taxes on online sales are actually coming from large bricks and mortar businesses that are currently paying sales taxes. They claim, they spread a lot of politically charged talking points saying that that state lawmakers should level the playing field across online sales and bricks and mortar sales, but really what they're doing is doing the opposite. By forcing on small businesses and online retailers to pay online sales taxes, it actually puts a greater burden on them because they're going to have to navigate these complex sales tax rates. So we see it's essentially an effort to keep out competition from smaller businesses. So it's something very concerning.
Right, that's extremely concerning to myself. And whether it's on the state or the federal level, that would have a huge impact on me and anyone like myself that's in e-commerce, because like you had mentioned, on the worst case, it could close down our business, but even best case scenario, it would mean paying more taxes, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is I mean, look, people are continuing to struggle in the down economy, right? They're seeing still, like, many people are trapped in part-time work. Many people are facing higher tax burdens. What policymakers should be doing at the state level and the federal level is making it easier for people to start their own businesses, be entrepreneurs. But instead, we see many lawmakers try to do the opposite, and passing online sales taxes is certainly a prime example, and it's the wrong thing to do right now.
Okay, so what can viewers do to get involved and stop this from happening? You mentioned your website. Is there other things as well?
Absolutely. Call up your federal lawmakers, call up your state leaders, and let them know that you oppose passing online sales taxes. Because right now, they're hearing from a lot of people who are pushing for these things. They're hearing from a lot of big businesses that can afford to hire lobbyists. They're not hearing from the people who they're supposed to represent, the people who sent them to Washington. They didn't send them to the Capitol in order to raise their taxes, but that's precisely what they're doing if they pass the Marketplace Fairness Act or similar efforts to enact taxes on online sales.
Right, and that's sad. It's sad to me because the recession impacted so many people, and so many people were forced to start their own businesses, as a viable option to create an income for themselves and for their families. And to have these freedoms, taken away or threatened is scary and sad to me. So I hope everybody watching this will at least take a moment and educate yourself and make the best informed decision that you can with all of the facts. So just kind of as an end note, though, if no one takes action, we don't do anything to fight this, what could potentially happen? What's on the horizon for us?
Folks don't take action, if folks don't let their elected officials know that they oppose raising taxes on online sales, then it's very likely that support for online sales taxes will gain traction in Congress and at the state level, and it will be certainly a bad situation because we'll see it'll be increasingly harder for people to start an internet company, sell things on the side. Many people are just not going to be able to earn that extra income if these taxes go into effect.
You're in Washington, D.C. right now, is that correct? So you're kind of on the front lines for us, Chrissy, and I just thank you for taking your time to explain all this in really great detail so that everybody can go on your site, get the information, and hopefully take action or at least be well informed.
Thanks so much for having me on, Tracy.
Okay, so I'm going to pop over here to americansforprosperity.org website. And there's a pop down here for Florida, which is the state that I'm in, but I want to go to national because this is a national issue, as Chrissy told us, and I really do want to be a part of taking action. Now, while I know this video won't, agree with everyone, if you do feel strongly about this, I would like to give you the tools that you can to, partake in what's happening to you. Instead of, we all kind of complain about the taxes, we complain about how it will impact us with our ability to do e-commerce. And here we actually have an opportunity to play some small part. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I am on the National Newsroom, and I'm going to click all. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to look at what's involving around e-commerce and why a national internet sales tax is a really bad idea. And I'm going to take a look at this and read it. And if I agree with it, then I'm going to take some action. And I can do that by clicking these links, finding out who's involved and what I can do about it. So if you have any thoughts or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. And, it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. But I'm excited to be a part of it and to have you be a part of it and to have Chrissy here today. So thanks a lot, Chrissy. Thanks all my great subscribers, and I will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.